Are we influenced more by the things we're born with, or does our environment play a bigger role in shaping us? This debate, often talked about as nature versus nurture, explores how genes and environment work together to form an individual, leading us to question which one is more dominant in shaping our identity. Is it nature or nurture? Nature refers to genetics, physical appearance, and biological influences that we inherit, while nurture is influenced by our environment, upbringing, and social influences. Nurture can be seen as more of the influential trait in the character Matilda Wormwood. Although someone may argue that she's a product of nature due to her excellent academic qualities, this character dwells in the interplay of nurture, unraveling the threads of Matilda's unique development, examining how the influence of her surroundings molds her into exceptional intelligence and determination. In the film, Matilda emerges as a self-made prodigy, navigating a challenging environment with a thirst of knowledge. To understand the influence over nurture over Matilda's character, we will use the theories of anthropology, which include cultural materialism and ethnography, psychology of how Matilda uses superego, and behaviorism. And for sociology, we will be using symbolic interaction and conflict theory. Supporting my perspective is a theory, cultural materialism, which suggests that the materials or conditions within an environment influences how the culture develops. Matilda's upbringing in a neglectful household compelled her to seek comfort in the library, where she immersed herself in a world full of books and escaped her house situation. This leads Matilda to independently learn crucial life skills like reading, writing, cooking, all by the age of 2, showing the impact of her home environment on her development. As a lack of nurturing force, Matilda opts for self-reliance and acquires skills independently, largely influenced by the materials, which in this case was books. So in this context, we can see how cultural materialism sheds light on how conditions within Matilda's childhood played a pivotal role in shaping her skills and qualities. Ethnography, or the study of cultures through close observation and detail, demonstrates the influence of nurture on Matilda, notably in the harsh school environment ruled by Miss Trunchbull. Through this observation, we can see power dynamics and authority figures that influence Matilda's responses. Fear of an authority figure was a learned behavior that gave Matilda the motive to use her powers in an oppressive condition. Through this example, we can see how we can study culture through a close observation, in this case, how we learned how Matilda built her fear of an authority figure through this cultured environment. As we see in the following clip, in psychology theories, the superego is a part of the brain that is based off our moral values and decides on the right or wrong. This is inherited usually by our surroundings and observations. This was a huge part of Matilda's childhood that leads her to adopt a unique approach of learning. Her ability to understand that her father's business was wrong at such a young age reflects a character who in many ways raised herself to a strong ethical understanding of right and wrong. The next psychology theory we'll learn about is behaviorism and how it impacted Matilda. Behaviorism is a theory of learning and conditioning that focuses on human behavior shaped through reinforcements. While Matilda still stands out from the rest of the family, she still shows certain behaviors that she has impacted through nurture. Despite the differences, she occasionally minors her behaviors and employs her unique abilities as a coping mechanism. Witnessing her father's frequent anger and yelling, Matilda, at times, replicates those behaviors in response to mistreatment. The challenging experience, both at school and at home, leads her to adopt specific behaviors and use her powers as a means of a rebellion against negative reinforcements. This adaptive response serves as a coping strategy in the face of punishments. Applying the conflict theory, in which lens through sociologists analyze social inequalities, power struggles, and dynamics of social change, being a child who perceived less power as from her father and the conflict between the principal, Matilda's nurtured sense of justice and fairness and empathy becomes evident in her interactions with others. She constantly strives to protect those who are vulnerable, such as her classmates and Miss Honey. These traits are nurtured within a positive environment, primarily influenced by her teacher. showing the impact of how empowered individuals can resist oppression forces and strive for more of a just society. Another sociology theory that shows the impact of nurture is symbolic interaction. In transferring one's development, this is often called how individuals learn about society and culture through personal experiences and social participation. Matilda, growing up in an unpleasant childhood environment, never experienced what it was like to be loved and to bond with others, other life lessons, and so on, which was further learned by her teacher, Miss Honey. Miss Honey offers Matilda a different parental figure view, unlike her parents, reshaping how she views relationships with her loved ones. In the end, Miss Honey legally signs adoption papers to become the best parental figure, and they live happy together from any oppressive rule of their family backgrounds. In the end, Matilda legally gets adopted by Miss Honey and becomes the best parental figure as they live together happily away from the oppressive rule of their family backgrounds. In conclusion, Matilda Wormwood's journey, when analyzed through the lens of anthropology, psychology, and sociology, paints a compelling narrative of resilience, self-discovery, and the profound impact of nurture on individuals' development. In anthropology, cultural materialism shows the influence on Matilda's environment, showed her growth due to the resources available. Ethnography delved into the culture nuances in Matilda's life. In psychology, her superego insights showed how Matilda's observation learning, especially from a positive role model like Miss Honey, contributed to her ethical understanding and problem-solving skills. In behaviorism, showed us how she dealt with reinforcement through her powers. Lastly, in sociology, symbolic interaction shed light on the transformative power and social interactions and redefined Matilda's perception of authority and support. Conflict theory unraveled Matilda's power against oppressive structures. So, what does Matilda Wormwood's story mean for the broader world? It reminds us how we grow up and the positive influences around us make a big impact on who we become today. Matilda's story shows us society plays a crucial role in creating spaces where individuals can succeed, break free from the unfair norms, and contribute to make the world a better place.